الحمد لله رب العالمين نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا وسيئات اعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له نشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله اما بعد يا ايها الاخوه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ثلاث جدهن جد وحزلهن جد جدهن جد وحزلهن جد النكاح الطلاق والرجع جد ثلاث جدهن جد وحزلهن جد النكاح والطلاق والرجع. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah the Great. Brothers and sisters, let us praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has caused us to live up until the 23rd day of Sha'ban, which is today, alhamdulillah. Praise Him. We believe in Allah, all of us. We sit here in this masjid, in this house of Allah, Baytullah, Masjid al-Taqwa. We believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We trust Him. We trust Allah in every ayat of Al-Quran that He has given to us. We trust Him. And we believe in Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam as Rasulullah. He is Khatam al-Nabiyyin. He is the seal of the Prophet. No Prophet after Him. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil of ourselves. Whomever is guided by Quran and Sunnah is guided aright. And whomever goes astray by not following Quran and Sunnah, you will never be guided aright. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we're not too stingy to send blessings on our Prophet alayhi salatu wa salam. And may Allah bless those great companions. We thank Allah for Abu Bakr Siddiq, Umar ibn Khattab, and Uthman, and Ali, and Khadija, and Aisha, and Fatima, and all of the Sahaba, radiallahu anhum ajma'in, all of them. And Allah bless His family and the Muslims everywhere. Our brothers and sisters, the purpose of today's khutbah is to clarify some things that I've heard recently that's happening in the community. A lot of confusion on an issue. And I want to use today's khutbah to clarify this issue, inshallah. A topic that people are uncomfortable with, but yet must talk about. Painful, but the topic of at-talaq, divorce. I wish everyone who gets married, stay married. Beautiful relationship between husband and wife. Be married 25, 30 years, 50 years with the same husband and the same wife living in peace and harmony. That would be nice. But it just doesn't happen that often anymore. Divorce is real. Divorce is so real that Allah has mentioned it in His Quran in many places. Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Ahzab, and indeed Surah Al-Talaq, a chapter by itself named after divorce, the 65th chapter of Al-Quran. Al-Talaq, divorce. There are many things to talk about on this subject. I just want to focus on a few things so that we be clear. First, the premise of my khutbah today is a hadith reported by At-Tirmidhi and Abu Dawood. The hadith that I mentioned, three things. Jadduhunna jaddun. Three things that are serious are considered serious. وَحَزْلُهُنَّ جِدٌّ. And even in jest, and even when you joke, it's serious. Whether you're joking or being serious, these three things are always serious. You don't joke about them. Nikah, marriage, is serious. You don't play, you don't joke. You want to marry my daughter? Be careful, because what you say could become reality. If you say, brother, I give my daughter to you in marriage, if your daughter agrees, that is a legitimate marriage. You can't say, brother, astaghfirullah, brother, I was only kidding. ثلاثٌ جدهن جد وحزلهن جد. النكاح, marriage. At-talaq, divorce. You tell your wife, or you have a good relationship with her. So, honey, I divorced you. I was only kidding. No. You don't joke like that. It's serious. It counts as a divorce. وَالرَّجْعَةِ. After you divorce your wife, you take her back. رَجْعَةِ. These three things, even in jest, are serious. I studied this hadith very carefully, and I checked out one of the muhaddith, modern muhaddith, Sheikh Al-Albani. He's a scholar of hadith. He says that, in his opinion, the isnad, chain of narrators, of this hadith is weak. However, he says, but it is strengthened by other hadith. This is his opinion. And you know what? I've read this hadith before. Alhamdulillah, I think now I have a better understanding than I ever had before. A few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I took a long trip down to Hampton, Virginia. And I was listening to a radio station. A Christian preacher was preaching. I like to listen to what they say, what they're telling the congregation. And this preacher told the people that it's not necessary to understand religion, understand the Bible, understand God. Just obey Him. On the one hand, I agree. If we don't understand why we make salat 5 times a day, we have to make it anyway. True. If we don't know about Siyam, why we fast in Ramadan, except Allah orders it, so we do it without understanding, she's right. But she spent too much time saying that we should not try to understand. Here I disagree. Because when you understand something, it makes you stronger in your belief. As Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, Allah, show me, how dost thou give life to the dead? Because when you understand it, you get a better feeling for it. So today I want to give understanding, inshallah, if Allah blesses me. At-talaq, divorce. Today, and by the way, brothers and sisters, let me pause here and say this. Last Friday, after the khutbah, a brother came to me, he asked me a question. And he asked me a question about the personal life between a husband and wife. You know, what they do in privacy, behind closed doors. And I gave him an answer. He says, Imam, are we allowed to do this, husband and wife? Can a husband do this to his wife? Can a wife do this to her husband? And I remember the ayat of Al-Quran, which is a very important ayat. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تسألوا عن أشياء إن تبدى لكم تسؤكم. Beautiful ayat. I wish that we can understand just this ayat. Oh, you who believe, ask not questions. If made plain to you, will cause you harm and difficulty. It's a beautiful ayat. Do you know that some people, as a result of them asking questions, became disbelievers, according to Al-Quran? People, Bani Israel. Too many questions. Can we do this? And the Prophet ﷺ said the worst sinner among the Muslims is that Muslim who asks a question about something that becomes haram as a result of him asking the question. This is Muttafaqun alayh, al-Bukhari Muslim hadith. Allah knows if he didn't go in detail. Allah didn't go in detail. Don't ask. So brother, if you want to put ketchup on your wife's tongue, that's your business, akhi. You don't have to ask me. You know, don't ask those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his message they didn't mention, lest it becomes difficult for you. This ayah was revealed according to many scholars of Quran when the Prophet ﷺ told the congregation, ask me any question. And a man stood up and said, Ya Rasulullah, man abi? Man abi, O Messenger of Allah, who is my father? وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أبوك حذيفة. The father is Hudayfa. Now his mother of this man who asked the question, she felt very bad. Why? She felt bad because she knew that in the days of Jahiliyyah, before she became Muslim, she did things. And now her son says something to embarrass her in front of the whole ummah. What if you learn that your father, you 40 years old, you 50 years old, your whole life, you find out today that that man is not your father, because of some sin that your mother committed and kept hidden. And so now you stand up and say, Ya Rasulullah, man abi, who is my father? And then when the Prophet said, Abuka Hudayfa, ثم قال آخر وقال يا رسول الله من أبي؟ Abi Salim. Now let's shoot that. And another man stood up and said, oh Prophet, who's my father? Abuka Salim, your father's Salim. So then Allah revealed this ayah in Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tas'alu an asya'a in tubda lakum tasukum. If you ask questions, don't ask those things that made known to you will cause you harm. Some of us, we like to ask questions about to our wives and to our husbands. Honey, what did you used to, who do you love? Don't ask. Don't ask these questions, because it's made plain to you will cause you harm. But I want to take a moment here and talk about something, the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at talaq, divorce in Islam. I hope that all of you brothers who are sitting here and all of you sisters can get married and stay married. Be careful. Last week I taught the subject adultery of the eyes, zina ayn. I meant to tell you one more. Be careful about 3 months ago, a man in New Jersey divorced or sued his wife for divorce because of his wife's interaction on a man in internet on the computer. Be careful, people can commit zina on the computer. Wallahi, men and women go on the computer and they meet in a room in the computer privately and they have private discussions. This you can't do. And some married woman and get on the phone, on the internet and talk to men other than her husband. Be careful. Even computers and phones, you have to be careful of your tongue and have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the young boy, the man said, Man Abi, who is my father? Do you know, brothers and sisters? This is a good question. You know there's a lot of people running around in New York City who don't know who their fathers are? And this is why zina is so strange. Because a woman dealing with more than one man at one time. Man Abi, who's my father? In the days of Jahiliyyah, when a woman divorced a man, there was no iddah. What's iddah? Iddah is a waiting period. Iddah is the period by which a woman cannot marry until she fulfills her iddah. If a man divorces his wife is in iddah. And this woman cannot marry until her iddah is over. It is haram for a woman to marry before her iddah is over. Today, I want to talk about the wisdom of the iddah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great. Allah is wise. Allah is al-Hakim. Therefore, everything that Allah does, there's wisdom behind it. If a man divorces his wife today, 1 minute later, he can marry someone else. If a man divorces his wife today, 1 minute later, he can marry someone else. If a man's wife died today, he can get married 1 minute later. But not so with a woman. If a man divorces his wife today, he cannot marry until her iddah is over. How long? Maybe 3 monthly periods, maybe 3 months. If a man dies, his wife cannot remarry another man until after 4 months and 10 days. How come the woman has to wait and the man don't have to wait? Allah is wise. Allah is great. Allah is magnificent. Today I want to talk about the purpose of iddah, the wisdom behind iddah, and why a woman has to wait. Because there's wisdom behind it. And if you violate the wisdom, then you miss the very purpose of the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now there's confusion in the ummah. A sister called me miles away, hundreds of miles away, and said, Imam Siraj, my husband, he pronounced divorce. And then he came to me and he slept with me. It's okay. But if a man pronounces divorce on his wife, he begins an iddah. And when a man sleeps with his wife, then that breaks the iddah, and then they're married again. He said, Imam, there's some people saying that if a man marries his wife and divorces her, he can continue to be intimate with her until the iddah is over. This is incorrect, and I want to prove it to you from Sharia. I'm not talking about a personality. Don't get hung up in personality. I'm talking about the issue, because you will be confused and violate the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a man pronounces divorce on his wife, brother, first of all, be careful. Be careful. I want to pause here and say this. in a very beautiful hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة إن كره منها خلقه رضي منها آخر. A man must not hate his wife. A Muslim man must not hate his wife. For if he finds a characteristic in her that he hates, he will be pleased with another characteristic in her. You know what I learned from that? Everybody is a package deal. A package. And you have to take the whole package. Nobody, no human being is perfect. And I don't care what that woman looks like from a distance. You don't know the woman until you marry her. And I don't care what that man looks like from a distance. He looks to be, he's imam, he's alim, he's scholar, he's rich, he's this. You don't know the man until you live with him. And there's nobody perfect. And this is why it's a shame when a woman is married to a man, she looks at another man that seems to be more handsome than her husband. I want to marry him. Or another man that has more taqwa than her husband. I want to get rid of my husband. Or another man that has more knowledge than her husband. I want to get rid of my husband. You don't know what you get until you get it. And so the Prophet ﷺ said, let no man hate his Muslim wife, because if he's displeased and if he hates kariha, minha, khulqa, her character, something about it he doesn't like, he'll be pleased with another. So the brother's wife, she don't like to cook. She can't cook. Oh, but she reads Quran. She takes care of the children very well. She cleans the house very nicely. So the brother focuses on the idea, you can't cook, woman, you're no good. I can't stand you. I'm going to get rid of you. But all the qualities that you have. So man, a sister marries a man and he's not the most diligent. He don't study a lot. He don't read the Quran a lot. He don't read hadith a lot. But the man goes out, works 2 jobs to take care of the family, take care of the children, give the wife everything that she needs. So she hates the fact that he doesn't study, but he has another character that she loves. That's the way it is. And you're not going to find anybody perfect. Every man, sister that you find, every man, if you want to get rid of your husband and marry another man, know that something of that man you won't like. So you might as well be pleased with what you have. Brother, I don't care what that woman looks like from a distance. Your wife has some characters that you have to look at and appreciate what she has. Let no man hate his wife, because if you hate a characteristic of hers, radiya minhu akhar, he loves something about other. So now, a man and woman, they get married. You should see when they come to me, Imam Siraj, I want to get married. Imam Siraj, please marry us today. Wallahi, people have called me at midnight in my home. Please, Imam Siraj, come marry us right now. Midnight. 1 o'clock in the morning. Imam Siraj, we want to get married. We love each other. We want to get married right now. And they come in the office and everybody's so happy. We have the walima. And everybody's so happy and great. 1 month later, 3 months later, 1 year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, Imam, we want a divorce. I don't like her. I don't want to be married to her anymore. I don't like him. I don't want to marry him anymore. I want a divorce. So now Allah put in the hand of the men the right to pronounce divorce on his wife. Can't nobody stop it. Sister come to me and say, Imam Siraj, my husband want to divorce me, please make him not divorce me. Sister, I can't help you. Imam Siraj, my husband divorced me, make him take me back. I can't help you. I could recommend. I can cajole. I could inspire. I could try to influence. But I can't make him. Every man has the right to divorce his wife and don't need a court, don't need a judge, don't need an imam, don't need the khalifa, don't need the prophet ﷺ to stop them from divorcing their wives if they want to do it. What's the wisdom behind that? If you make a man keep a woman that he don't want, then he'll treat her with injustice. So yeah, you make me keep her, I won't feed her. I won't take care of her. I won't give her companionship. So Allah gives a man the right to divorce. Now, man, you got to be careful. Because of power you have now. I divorced you, woman. Careful. Don't use that word if you don't mean it. Don't play. Because talaq, divorce, is serious. Don't play. I was only playing. Shut up! Don't play. Why? You know the wisdom of that? Now I see, alhamdulillah, I see one of the wisdom. Allah is great. I saw just recently one of the great wisdom of that. Ask anyone who's been dealing with counseling for years, they will tell you this. That you know that a man is permitted, according to Al-Quran, talaq al-marratayn, divorce is permissible twice, and the third time is irrevocable. You know this. How many men say, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, more than 3 times? And you know what? If we would allow a man to say, I was only joking, we would make a mockery of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because every time a man wants to take his wife back, he'll simply say, I was only joking. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ said, فَلَسْتُمْ جِدُّهُنَّ جِدٌّ وَحَزْلُهُنَّ جِدٌّ. 3 things, even in jest, is serious. Marriage, divorce, and taking your wife back. Now, brothers and sisters, let me conclude with this khutbah. Why does Allah make a woman wait before she can be married? I discovered about 3 different reasons in Sharia. Number 1, and the most important one, is to make sure that the woman, the man, she may be pregnant. And if she marries another man, whose baby is it? The old husband or the new husband? Come on, talk to me. You don't know, so Allah in His wisdom makes the woman put in an iddah, make her wait. How long? 3 monthly cycles. Because after 3 monthly cycles of 3 months, if she's pregnant, maybe she begins to show now. Oh, she's pregnant. If a man divorces his wife, pronounce divorce, I divorce you, she begins immediately her iddah. And if the man continues to sleep with his wife during the iddah, if he sleeps with his wife during the last day of the iddah, that means after the iddah she can remarry. That's the definition of iddah. When the iddah is over, you can remarry. Then if she remarries after that, and she marries another man, again the confusion. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes an iddah for the woman. And here's the ayat from the Quran. So the first reason, to make sure that the woman is not pregnant. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:34. And the reason I'm saying this, because I want you to research it. I'm giving you a few more minutes. I'm sorry I have to deal with this topic because it's in the community right now. Walladina, sorry. والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن 3 قروء. A woman, mutalaqa means a woman who's divorced. A woman who's divorced, she must wait. Iddah. 3 periods. Why? To make sure that she's not pregnant. You have to wait. Right. That's the first evidence. And another thing, and by the way, the next verse, وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهُنَّ أَنْ يَكْتُمْنَ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِي أَرْحَامِهِنَّ إِنْ كُنَّ يُؤْمِنَّ بِاللَّهِ وَيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. This is a beautiful ayah. And it is not halal for a woman to hide what Allah has created in her womb. So if a woman now is pregnant, she can't lie and say, I'm not pregnant. Or if she knows that she's pregnant, she has to tell the truth. Or if Allah creates in her menses, she must honest and tell the truth. Because there's legal consequences based on a woman's state of menses. Because it's not permitted for a man to divorce his wife during the menses. So she must not hide what Allah has created in her womb. Number 1, the iddah, 3 monthly period. Number 2, ulatul ahmalu ajlahunna and yud'ana hamlahunna. What if a woman is pregnant already and a husband divorces his wife? Can a man divorce his wife in pregnancy? Yes, according to Quran. What about her iddah? Her iddah, when she drops the load. Now you know she's pregnant. Drop the load. Number 3, finally. And look at the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at this, the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah Ahzab 49. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا نَحَقْتُمُ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ ثُمَّ طَلَّقْتُمُوهُنَّ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ تَمَسُّوهُنَّ فَمَا لَكُمْ عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ عِدَّةٍ. If a man marries a woman and he doesn't touch her, you know what means don't touch? He's not intimate with her. And then he divorces his wife, there's no iddah. That means if a man marries his wife today, he doesn't touch her, he divorced her today, the next minute she can remarry. There's no iddah. Why? Because the husband never touched her. She can't be pregnant. No confusion. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Brothers and sisters, I know this kind of topic is not, but it's something you have to hear. You have to know, inshallah. Anyone want more details after the khutbah? You want to talk to me? I can even give a class. I give classes on this very important issue about divorce. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى صحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Our brothers and sisters, I'm going to leave you now, inshallah. I want to admonish all of you to please be careful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered the woman, if she's in iddah, because her husband dies, she has to wait 4 months and 10 days, 3 months and 10 days, 4 months and 10 days. And it is because of the respect of the husband dying, and to make sure she's not pregnant, but a certain kind of respect. And be careful, brothers, when a woman is in iddah, and she's about to get divorced from her husband. It's called Halaqa. It's a minor divorce. He could take her back. You be careful about talking to this woman. Be careful. You see, sisters, I'm talking to you right now. If your husband pronounces divorce on you, be careful, sister. Sometimes a sister will get on the phone and talk to a sympathetic ear of another man. My brother so-and-so, my husband, he's not fair to me. He's not right. Well, sister, I will take care of you. I'll do better than your husband. This is haram. This is haram. If the wife is having problems, let her go to the imam, not to you. Don't you talk to no sister in iddah. Don't you talk to this sister who's having difficulty with her husband. Don't you open your mouth. Tell sister, you better go to the imam. I'll make an appointment with you with the imam. You be careful, because you can undermine somebody's marriage. Because a sister now is vulnerable. If you want some sympathetic ear, her husband just placed an iddah, and now here you come. You the savior now. You the knight now. You're going to talk to her, but in your mind, you're filthy because you have in your heart some disease, and you want the brother's wife. Leave the woman alone, and let her deal with her husband. Let her deal with the imam. But you keep your busy self out of your business. So sister, I'll help you. Go help your own family. How come you're not helping your own family? You leave these women alone. You leave these married women alone. Not here. Not in this community. Not in Islam. You did it in the dunya. You did it in Jahiliyyah. But damn it, do not do it here. Serious. One of the worst things you can do, commit zina with your brother's wife. Starts off innocent. You just talking. You have no business talking to her. I got some sisters, let her talk to the sisters. Why she got to talk to you? You be very careful about that. You be very careful. If anything, if you're a brother to your brother, you try to push her closer to her husband. Not far away. Yes, sister, I see what you mean. Yeah. He's a drag. Astaghfirullah. He's a bum. But you're a bigger bum. You're a bigger bum. And you're no good. It's the brotherhood. And I want to know that my wife is safe with any of these brothers. And I want to know that if my back is turned, no brother going to make a move on my wife. I want to know that this is a brotherhood and nobody going to make a move on my daughter. And I want to know that this is a brotherhood. Nobody going to make a move on my mother and my sister. That's a brotherhood. We so tight, nobody can come between us. No women can come between us. We brothers, we tight, we pray together, we eat together, we have a bond together. How dare you separate a man and his wife? This is Shaitan. It's Shaitan. And you be careful not to put yourself in position where you can violate the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. Watch this tongue and watch this heart. It's that. Waiting period. And when the period is over, when the waiting period is over, as you like, go on and marry her. And let me tell you something, brothers and sisters, as I sit down. You want a divorce? Fine. But I warn you, if you divorce like a Muslim. Because everything Allah has made us different from everybody. Everything we do is different from everybody else. We eat differently, we dress differently, we act different, we talk different, we marry differently, and we divorce differently. You want a divorce? Divorce according to Sunnah. And if you divorce according to Sunnah, I guarantee many of you still be married. I got a call from a city, would you believe it? Some brother told me a sister put herself in iddah. Women can't put themselves in iddah. Women can't divorce say to a husband, I divorce you? Allah don't give the woman that right. Well, why not? Allah is wise. We have too many divorces already. Could you imagine if women have the right to divorce too? Who of us would be married? Probably Ali be the only one married. You can't. It's enough that we have that, and some of us abuse the right. But if women have it, sometimes women, please don't get angry at me, but sometimes women, because of some circumstances, maybe how they feel, maybe they'll say something that they really don't mean, maybe a little bit more emotional. Maybe there'll be more divorces if women have the right to pronounce divorce too. But Allah's mercy, He didn't give that right to the woman. He gave it only to the man. But even so, she can get out. Khula. Imam, I want to get out of the marriage. And I'm willing to pay back the dowry to get out of it. This is the khula. She has that right. Oh, but be careful. Don't divorce for frivolous reasons. Don't divorce your wife because she didn't cook a good meal last night. That's no reason to do it, brother. And wallahi, you laugh and you think it's a joke, but for little reasons we divorce our husbands and our wives, and we want to get divorced from our husbands. No. I say this. If you want a divorce, do it according to the sunnah. How? You know what? According to Al-Quran, Surah Al-Talaq, when a man divorces his wife, get two just men as witnesses. You stop and say, you know what? In the middle of the night, you pronounce divorce on your wife. If you had stopped and said, well, let me get two witnesses, you're not going to get no witnesses at midnight. Wait and do it right. Get witnesses. And not only that, if you really want to divorce your wife in the sunnah way, don't sleep with her one moment and then get a divorce the next. This is against sunnah. It's sunnah to divorce the wife in a time where you had not had any intimacy with her. So between two periods, no intimacy. And then when she's clean again, then pronounce divorce. That's the sunnah. You see, if you do that, you're not just doing it because you're angry. And by the way, let me finish with this. Some of you have come to me and said, Imam, I pronounced divorce on my wife 3 times. It means it's irrevocable. Talaqu ghayru raji'i, it's irrevocable. You can't